이대로 세상이 망해도 잘 됐어 아무렇지 않을 것 같아. 한 뼘 더 벽을 쌓아 올려. 괜찮아 이곳에서 나는 안전해. 그래도 피치 못할 외줄. 그럴 땐 웃음이란 망돌 쓰곤 해. 들키고 싶지 않아 나를. 하지만 누군간 꼭 알아줬음 해. Oh you know, oh you know, oh you know. 해가 저물면 get home. 해가 저물면 get home. 세상은커녕 그 무엇도 구할 수 없던 우린 이제 서로를 구해볼까 해. 후후후 크게 소리쳐 날 때야. 온 세상이 널 버려도 나는 여기 있어. 후후후 크게 소리쳐 날 때야. 신이 내게 등을 돌려도 너는 거기 있어. 악몽에 시달려 난 가끔. 그러다 느껴지는 너의 손길에 너구나 나의 작은 영웅. 다시 잠들 때까지 지켜줘야 해. Oh you know, oh you know, oh you know. 내가 들리면 get home. 내가 들리면 get home. 전장 같은 이 도시에서 상처만 남은 우린 이제 서로를 구해볼까 해. 후후후 크게 소리쳐 날 때야. 온 세상이 널 버려도 나는 여기 있어. 후후후 크게 소리쳐 날 때야. 신이 내게 등을 돌려도 너는 거기 있어.
Good evening, and actually I should check the volume, shouldn't I? Welcome back to Egypt, where Queen Adalberta has been extending Egypt further than it usually goes. We've reached the Atlantic. I mean, we don't technically stretch all the way from the Atlantic to the Red Sea because Sirte is in the middle. But yes, the Kingdom of Egypt is quite large. But that's what you get when you are a Crusader Queen with a martial score of 33. Which is slightly confusing because I'm sure when I last looked she had a martial score of 32, so she's found another point from somewhere. Yeah. She keeps doing this. There was something she did recently that gained her like 2 extra points of martial. She has a base martial of 8 and then brilliant strategist, genius, Crusader Queen, brave, zealous, ambitious, the German Crusader armour and the German blade of the cross.
Yes.
She has a martial score substantially higher. I think there is one other person in the world who comes close. And they achieve it by virtue of being mad. So Zdeslav, the Count of Ustia, has a martial score of 30, but 20 of that is because Jesus has given him military advice.
Right. I mean, it worked for Joan of Arc.
Yes.
Up to a point.
So the nearest halfway legitimate one is Frédéric d'Albon, who only has 27. So he's like trading by 6 points. So yes.
So who's your heir, and how much expansion do you need to do now?
So my heir in respect of the Kingdom of Egypt is Prince Alaric, which is a bit of a problem because Prince Alaric is dull. His big sister, on the other hand, Princess Gerhild, now she would make a good queen. She's only 11, but like she's genius. She's a zealous, patient, deceitful, proud genius. And so ought to be a decent queen, but has the slight problem of being female. We are trying to turn her Basque so that at least in one generation's time, we can convert the kingdom to fully cognatic succession, but we can't do that immediately. So currently my best hope is that I can stick Prince Alaric into a bishopric somewhere and thus disinherit him, so that Gerhild gets the kingdom.
You just have to also try not to have any more children. How old are you?
34. I mean, the youngest is now is Alaric, indeed, who is now 6. So it's looking fairly unlikely there will be any more. So yes, that's the current plan as far as they're concerned. Islam is looking a little bit pressured in that, like, we have a few minor Islamic states there being sandwiched between the African pagan ones to the south and the Christian ones to the north. There's still a reasonable stretch of Islam down East Africa, but it's got the Miaphysites squishing at it from the south. And so basically Islam is now being pushed out into Arabia and Persia. So that's interesting. And, well, Queen Adalberta was put here by a crusade. I think she is still zealous. So I am playing Queen Adalberta on the assumption that she believes, and everyone calls her the Sword of Jesus. So I'm playing Queen Adalberta on the assumption that she believes she has been sent by God to purge the heretics from Africa. Not heretics, infidels from Africa.
Not crucially from Jerusalem.
I think she's working on Africa first.
Okay.
Like, if she gets them out of Africa, she might turn her eyes eastwards. Like, yes, thank you, Steph. I did indeed mean infidels and not heretics. I mean, the heretics have got to go too, unless she turns out to be a heretic. So, I mean, I am thinking about the possibilities of the found the Empire of Outremer decision, but that's quite a tough one to get to. That's occupied the entirety of the Middle East. Well, the entirety of like the Arabian Peninsula, I think. It's this weird button here. Occupy that area, holding at least every county, possibly every. I think it's only every county and not every holding, but still. So, yes. So I think Adalberta is not currently looking towards Jerusalem. The Pope probably will with the next crusade, but from my readings of the relevant bit of the wiki, expanding the next crusade will be for the Duchy of Jerusalem, because the Kingdom of Jerusalem doesn't exist, and so it's not actually going to be a very good crusade in terms of getting stuff out of it. Like, possibly we should just be going out there and founding another Crusader state somewhere. So I'm not sure whether I will aim to switch characters again for that one. So yes, the the Fatimids out here are reduced to this tiny bit. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and they have a revolt still going on. I think Adalberta has truces with both Fatimids and their revolts. Revolt, yes. There's a tiny... There's the Ifranids here, with whom Adalberta does not have a truce, so they are in what I suspect is now a fairly small defensive pact, or at least quite a distant defensive pact. Tebessa, similarly. So, like, presumably, who is in that defensive pact then? The Muslim defensive pact against Egypt. It's not the Fatimids, the Ifranids, Tebessa, and the Hashemids and Alodia. Like, that's not very much, really. I probably have a casus belli against all four of them. So that's a total of 2,000, 4,000, 5,500. Right, the Hashemids are probably the scary ones. 10,000, say, troops. Adalberta controls 28,000 troops.
All hail our glorious
So I think she could actually just declare war on all four members of the defensive pact simultaneously.
Once you've declared
Oh,
one of them,
You can't declare war on the rest because they're... Yes, okay.
So you probably want to declare war on the Hashemids. Because,
Why?
well, they're a nice big kingdom to get.
Well, I can only get duchies anyway.
Okay.
Because I've only got... I can only use standard holy war. One thing I should actually do is dispose of the slightly embarrassing domain limit exceedance, because I currently have 21 out of my 8 domain limit.
You say that's for holy war, but I mean, you could possibly go. There might be a claim war you could do instead. That might get you something.
Faffy. Plus, the claimants are all going to turn out to be Muslims. So they won't accept invitations to my court.
No, I don't know. But you might happen to have some lying around. It's worth checking.
Pink Beast is entertainingly discussing the religious issues to do with monophysitism versus Islam, as relates to Islam. So, of course, no, hang on. Yes, the thing is that, yes, it's not the Fatimids. The Fatimids get to sit this one out. There was someone else I wanted to invade, but I may actually have to wait. I wanted to try to grab... Was it the Hashemids, actually? Because there's a... there was a nice small duchy on the Red Sea that I thought might be good. Oh no, it was Alodia. That I thought might be quite good, but now I'm going... Is it actually available? No, I can only get Nabatia. What? I thought Axum was available. Was it the Ziadids? Right, yes. I thought it might be that might be a nice place to found a merchant republic on the Red Sea with connections out to the Indian Ocean. But that's the Ziadids, who are different again. So I think we should go for at least one war against the defensive pact, while it hasn't weirdly, buggily evaporated. So yes, should we? Let's work. Look. Oh no! First, fix your current domain limit problem. Then we'll worry about other things, because we have the slight issue that because she has just finished a holy war, basically all of this patch is currently in Adalberta's domain. So she probably needs to find like a duke or two, maybe found the odd duchy. So far her approach has mostly been find unlanded, preferably non-heir Dispoletos who want to join her court. Sorry, I mean join court, not diplomatic range. Who, sadly, because of her current succession law, I think have to be male. Problem is we're running out. I mean, he looks like he might be okay. Is he the heir to anything? Heir to the bishopric of Tuy. That's probably safe. Doesn't have any children, mind. Wife's 32, so it might be alright. Gertrude died in 1131. And he hasn't had any more. Slightly worried. Oh yes, I should note what's going on over in the Holy Roman Empire in a moment. Slightly worried that his father is a count in the HRE, but I suppose that shouldn't be a problem, because if said father inherits a duchy down here, then that'll be fine. There's the slight issue of what happens if Adelheid, his mother, dies, but she's only leading a revolt, so that's probably okay. And her heir is apparently... Yes, no, it's not a problem if his mother dies and his mother won't inherit his duchy while his father's alive, so it's probably safe. So yes, I was going to mention what's going on over in the HRE. So the HRE is in the middle of a revolt. The revolt is being led by Adelheid the Wise. The kind of revolt, rather oddly, is a war against the tyranny of the current leader, current emperor, which has the consequence, if the revolt wins, that the current Kaiser will step aside, will abdicate in favour of his heir. So who is the current Kaiser? The current Kaiser is Adamar the Just, and his heir in respect of the Holy Roman Empire is Adelheid the Wise, which you might at first glance think means that Adelheid the Wise is engaged in a revolt to get herself onto the throne. No, there are two entirely separate Queen Adelheid or Adelheid the Wises in the Holy Roman Empire. One of them is leading the revolt, and the other one is the Queen of Bavaria, and is the heir to the empire. So Adelheid the Wise Part 1 is engaged in a war to put Adelheid the Wise Part 2 on the throne. Perhaps someone should come up with some slightly more diverse nicknames for these people. So anyway, that's going on over there, but thus Adelheid the Wise, who is the leader of the revolt, and more normally Countess of Tunis, and that's about it looks like, is probably not going to be a problem if her title passes. I mean, she's got plenty of children, actually. Like, it'll pass to Kaiser Hupold. Yeah, I don't think there's any trouble there. So I think Liutbert looks like... Was he Liutbert or Luitpold? I think it was a Liutbert. Liutbert, Duke of Galicia. Oh, I suppose... Yes. So the problem is if he does have a child, said child will also inherit the Duchy of Galicia, so then it'll matter which order they die in. Who else have we got? The others all look a bit... Meh. Like, we've got Manfredo, Duke Manfredo of Rugen, whose daughters are thus going to inherit the Duchy of Rugen, which is not very helpful. Martin, the commander of Bavaria, who But at least the Duchy of Bavaria has ended up somewhere completely other, so he's probably safe. Maybe we should take Martin instead, because he's a bit safer than Liutbert. I mean, he has gone and got himself a 42-year-old wife for some reason. So I suppose we need to think about where his inheritance would go, given both his parents are dead, his eldest brother is dead, his second eldest brother is a bishop. So will it then pass to his... Will it go to Duchess Trude of Bavaria, or will it go to Liutgard, his sister? Pinkbee suggests that Adelheid the Wise filled out the paperwork wrong, and if her revolt begins, she'll be... Oh, damn! I wasn't intending that to happen. Possibly. I mean, it's not like I haven't had the occasional war that ended like that. Okay, so Martin might be safe, but I'm not quite sure who his heir will turn out to be. Helferich, again, has no children. At least has a 19-year-old wife, which might be feasible, might be sensible. And has a brother who is also... The only problem is that his father is a duke. So, like, again, we need Helferich to get himself some kids, or we need to murder the father. But then who's the elder son? Oh gods, is Helferich heir to a duchy? He's only actually heir to the county of Consenza for some reason. So, where does Calabria go? Ah, Calabria's elective, I see, right. So... Does a daughter of a son inherit ahead of a... Yes, they do, because the general rule... Oh, it's not... Yes, the general rule in primogeniture, which is most of what we have in Egypt, is that if someone is already dead, then you pretend that they inherited and then died immediately afterwards. And so if Martin dies... Since he has no children, we'll go up one generation. His father we then pretend his father inherited and immediately died, at which point the title would pass to Duke Leopold, who is also dead, so we pretend he inherited and immediately died, at which point the title would pass to Duchess Trude, who is already a duchess, and which would therefore pull the duchy out of our kingdom. Right. Got that one. Let's not give it to Martin. Right. Helferich. Helferich's situation is that his father is still alive and is a duke, and therefore will pull the duchy out of our kingdom. No good. Manfredo. Manfredo of Rugen has the problem that Rugen is elective, and it's currently passing to Count Daugvilas of Rugen, not to either of the duke's daughters. Duchess's daughters. She has neatly disinherited her son. So while this might change, he is relatively safe, because in particular, if one of those daughters inherits our duchy, then they won't be able to inherit the Duchy of Rugen. Well, they will almost certainly cease being electable as the Duchess of Rugen. And if they inherit the Duchy of Rugen... So the danger is if they inherit the Duchy of Rugen first. But that is at least better than the alternatives we've found so far. And Liutbert is in the situation where it would immediately pass to his father, which is probably safe, actually, because he's only a count. We would just end up bizarrely gaining Tunis, which is fine anyway, because Tunis is even in Africa. Okay, back to the first one, Liutbert. I think we're going to... there's a slight danger, but she's only... I'm not quite sure how she managed to end up leading a revolt when she's unlanded, but I won't ask too... Oh, right, she isn't unlanded. She's also Queen of Franconia. Okay, so what's the danger there? Danger is that if she dies, Franconia passes to Duke Liutbert, but surely Franconia is elective. Yes, Franconia is elective, so Liutbert, once we've given him a duchy, is almost certainly going to be unelectable as the next king of Franconia. Right. Okay, I'm still reasonably confident that Liutbert's safe. Hello, Liutbert. Would you like to come to my court? Of course, we can't actually grant him the duchy now, because we have to wait for him to arrive, and if I unpause, then immediately people will start dropping out of defensive pacts. So I suppose I do have to declare war now. So those two will only gain me one county, which is a bit feeble, really. I think, yes, because one of them only has one county and the other one has two, but they're in different duchies. We could finally take Nobatia off Alodia, which seems reasonably clean, and also gets us a border with Mercuria. Or we could go for the Hashemids and take the whole of Blemia or Hijaz, but Hijaz is on the wrong side of the Red Sea. Blemia is quite big. Alodia feels like it's expanding our kingdom in a more sensible fashion, though. Would taking Blemia get us close enough to grab Socotra? No. So yeah, I think we'll go for Alodia, because that expands our kingdom in a vaguely sensible direction. So we are now at war with... we now have plus 24% war score. I think possibly one of our vassals may also be at war with Alodia, which I hadn't been paying attention to. Yeah, okay, maybe I don't actually need to engage in this war. Idiot, maybe I should have looked at who was at war with the people I was planning to go to war with. Oh well. We'll win this war fairly handily, at least. Hello, I have terrifying martial skill. I can raise 4,000 troops in a single county. Right, that's probably enough troops. He says raising another 900. Let's go for CY as well. Alodia for Nobatia, but that was a mistake because like about 4 of my vassals are at war with Alodia for Nobatia. Right, so Liutbert has arrived in my court, so I might actually have to create a title for him. because the only duchy I've got lying around at the moment is Cairo, which isn't very helpful. So yes, we should probably create the Duchy of Fez for him. Not creating the Kingdom of Ifriqiya, but I will happily create the Duchy of Fez. People are already both joining and leaving defensive pacts against me. Right, so now I want to take my new arrival, whom I've already lost, and grant him he was a Liutbert, wasn't he?
Someone holding the Duchy of Fez who was actually wearing Fez.
Has he gone?
Even though Fez is a creep.
All right, he's still in Santiago, even though he's technically joined my court. Right, so we can grant him the Duchy of Fez, all the titles underneath it, and then see where that how much that leaves us still over endowed with titles. Right, that takes us down to 8 again. Excellent. Thank you, Liutbert, for taking Fez off our hands. I am sure you will have lots of fun with it and increase the prestige of our dynasty accordingly. Duke Liutbert of Fez. His heir is Rutger of the Holy Roman Revolt, who is currently Count of Tunis, and I'm quite happy taking Tunis off the Holy Roman Revolt. I mean, politely at least. No, sadly, despite being Duke of Fez, he is not wearing a fez. He is wearing like a gold band of some sort. I'm sure that has a name, but I don't know what it is. Circlet. Circlet sounds like a good word, yes. I feel the coronet should be at least slightly pointy. Right, so... Thank you. Good night, Claire. Right. Meanwhile, let's organise this this army. So there was an interesting thing that we found happened in Fez, which was that some of the counties have ended up with like multiple holdings not controlled by us. Okay, one of the counties has these 2 holdings still controlled by the Fatimids, which is kind of weird. So I looked that up, and it turns out that if you're in a holy war, then you don't get any holdings that are occupied by someone who isn't you at the end of the war. So things that are unoccupied, i.e. still held by the defender, you get, and things that you've occupied, you get. But if there are multiple people engaged in a holy war, like, say, me and zillions of my vassals all going after Alodia, then you each get whichever holdings you occupied. Which is why it's a bit complicated. Kaiser Huppel, yes, I'm kind of still watching what's going on in the HRE, which may be unnecessary. The HRE has incidentally Verity split. Italia is now an independent empire.
Well, that was likely to happen at some point on
yes.
your decease.
I mean, I was having to be quite careful to prevent that, and apparently the AI was less careful. So there is now a separate empire of Italia. Right, so I'm just massing my troops in Aswan. Oh yes, Queen Adalberta also has a personal combat skill of 65. would be 75, but she's malnourished. Right, we have cheered up the Duke of Alexandria, but I think we can keep cheering him. Right, that's probably a big enough army. Well, I mean, we'll wait for the last two to join up, but... Oh dear, we're actually losing sieges at the moment. We should fix that. Yeah, you lot, join together, march in there. You, march in there too. I will be at the head of the army. We will also bring Dietrich and Meinhard, who is a holy warrior. This should be fairly effective. Especially since someone else has brought an army. We may not actually get to fight this battle. There appears to be some stuff going on over here. Yes, they're besieging us, the bastards. Can I raise enough troops in this area to do something about that? Not raise very many. Because it's all like new territory. So how many have I got here? 1,200, 1,400... 2,000 odd, and that's mountains. Nah. I'm kind of inclined actually not to try and to try to get this war over with from the other end. Like, if we really have to send some troops over there, we can, but have a camel riding ground in Kolzum. We've only got 300 gold though. I don't think we can afford to build anything else right now. This is a rather crowded county and we are overflowing its supply limit. So let us march. Oh, well, that lot going to Nubia as well. We're all going to Nubia. Nubia's supply limit is only 13,000. Well, let's not go to Nubia then. If we're not going to go to Nubia, where do we go? Well, could we stay here? Do we want to stay here? Well, that's occupied by Duke Velfavaswan anyway. Okay, in that case, I think we want to head south. Probably split our army in two and besiege two places down there. We have one bishopric that we probably shouldn't be holding, but I'm going to keep holding that bishopric so I can stick my son in it when he comes of age. I also want to keep half an eye on my daughters, in particular because if Gerhild does become, Gerhild has become Basque, excellent. Now that she's Basque, I just have to try not to accidentally turn her German.
She's in a matrilineal betrothal, I trust.
Oh yes. With a quick, shrewd, gregarious, honest, envious, humble kid. Nersh Skribas, who is Greek. I couldn't find her a genius, but I thought quick and shrewd was probably pretty good. So now we can probably get her a better education. Because, like, she is being educated by an elusive shadow, which is nice. But now that we are not restricted to Basques, you might be able to do better. In particular, I should educate her myself, probably.
What's your personal traits?
Lots.
I mean, I assume you're a brilliant strategist.
Brilliant strategist, genius, crusader queen, malnourished, mystic, patient, brave, zealous, arbitrary, kind, chaste, paranoid, temperate, ambitious, proud.
Arbitrary's not good, but otherwise, not bad.
And, like, I have ludicrous stats. My lowest is my stewardship of 13. So yes, I think yes, it will annoy the mayor of Mayor Thingamy. Oh, but that might turn. Oh, am I? Do I have a? I'm not gregarious and I'm not diligent, so it's fairly unlikely I'll accidentally turn her German again. I think we take that risk because I think we'll turn her into a really good ruler if we do this. So yes, there's a slight danger she'll become German, but it's a fairly slight danger because Adalberta is neither diligent nor gregarious. Right. Okay, maybe I am actually going to have to send some troops that way, but I got. Oh, well, let's give me a decent army. No. That might help. We raise them to the west. Let's get ourselves a halfway decent western army. Possibly Adalberta can lead it briefly. I want to actually halt them there because the supply limit's only 8,000 there, so we'll split that army in half. Take the army of Queen Adalberta first and send them in there. Yeah, that's not going to be a problem. Water still accumulating. yes, Pink Beast, there is a slight danger that Gerhild will go back to being German, but because Adalberta doesn't have any traits that will boost the probability, it's reasonably unlikely. Well, that was a tiny battle. Everyone else is going to Kosti. Let's go to Kosti. Meanwhile, that army can bring up the rear and do some besieging. This army is now vaguely organised. So, well, I think we should at the very least take back that territory there. Did you even know we had a holding in Bayuda? We don't. Why is how do you mean my holding in Bayuda is under siege? I haven't besieged anything there yet. I'm just about to start. Oh, the Battle of Kosti didn't last very long because only 36 enemies were still there by the time we arrived. They, meanwhile, are busy dying in a different field. Besieging this place is going to take a little while. Let's get ourselves a siege leader in there to speed it up. And let's put our other siege leader in here. Pope Urbanus has sent me a message. Troubling news has reached me about a heretic county in your domain. I urge you to swiftly deal with the problem as this heresy must be rooted out. So, as far as I can see, this doesn't actually convert Colzum because we've had this before. Like Colzum is still monophysite. So while I can strike at these heretics, that will just cause a revolt there, which isn't very helpful. I don't really mind losing 50 piety. I've got 5,700 piety. So actually I'm going to go for, within my realm, peaceful conversion is the better way. And then probably send my since the Pope keeps getting pissed off about this, send my court chaplain over to deal with the
Do you first check your court chaplain for
heresy.
yes.
No, he is properly Catholic. Oops, I accidentally
I have
unpaused there.
occasionally, embarrassingly gone, why the hell is
Why the hell is everything converting? And it turns out because you've sent your court chaplain to convert everyone to a heresy.
Yeah.
If applying fire and or sword to the heretics actually converted them, I would be fine. But it doesn't. Let's send my court chaplain, who has learning 29 and has as yet failed to convert anything. I don't quite know how someone with learning 29 can fail to convert people, but there you go.
Possibly the arguments are too abstruse. Because people can't follow them.
Actually, just shouting at them works better.
Yeah. Or, a nice simple story, no theological complexity.
Stop it! Look, we're working on it. The Pope sent me another damn bull. About the same county. Yes, I know. You're just stealing my piety for the hell of it, Pope. Sorry, Your Holiness.
One of my statements sent me a .cpp presumably C++ file with a solution to a questioning. How do I run a .cpp file?
You'll probably want to compile it first.
Something make hamster stoked. Probably.
Okay, how do I compile?
Maybe ask.
I would be inclined to say, stick it in an empty, make an empty directory, stick it in there, and then make followed by the base name of the file in that directory. Yes. See if that does anything useful. Make should know how to compile things in general. Hush.
No rule to make, stop.
Oh, right. Well, then try, I don't know, something else.
Okay.
Try on someone there might know.
Yes, I am trying to engage in a holy war in Africa. I'm not trying to compile C++ programs today. So, right, first one. The Asyutian holy war for Nobatia has ended. Justice Gudrun of Asyut lost. So we've lost one of them. Various dull law-related things in Italia. So that may mean we need to recapture some territory. It doesn't actually look like we do. Simon has pointed out that engaging with C++ is liable to end you up in holy wars anyway. Our holy war is going all right.
It's thinking very hard, this C++ command. Core article, wow, I've got a file called state. If I run it, I get the answers. Okay. It's a long time to compile it, I think.
Someone is coming to attack us here. They've brought quite a few troops, but we are in mountains. But on the other hand, I think we should reorganise this army to actually have our good commanders in, not least because Queen Adalberta likes a good scrap and wants to get into a battlefield duel one day. She tried to, and then one of her commanders intercepted the guy, and the said commander had far lower personal combat skill than Adalberta.
Also, if you keep winning duels, your personal combat skill will go up and up and up.
Yes. Does it also do anything for your martial skill?
It might depend on DLC.
Right.
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I think you can get, sort of reputation boosts.
Right, well, you, I'm afraid, army of Emir Abdul Ghaffur are about to run into
Toast.
Queen Adalberta in the mountains.
Are you sure you want to do this? What commander traits has she got?
None at the moment. Well, she doesn't manage to get into many battles because so many other people are engaging in holy wars that a lot of them she has to win by besieging things for the most part, or incredibly quick battles. Aha! The Battle of Tahat. One day you will have to specialise. I hear the voice of my old quartermaster in my head. As I look out over the battlefield and the mountains of Tahat, the sight fills me with resolve. I need to find a focus for future battles, but what will it be? Will I master mountain terrain? Plus 20% combat in mountains. Will I focus on cavalry? This character excels at leading men to war on horseback. Will I focus on light foot? Will I focus on heavy infantry? I'm very inclined to master mountain terrain because much of East Anglia? Very little of East Anglia is mountainous. Much of East Africa is mountainous. Right, Queen Adalberta now has the mountain expert trait. We now need to march that lot there, I think. That lot. Well, we're really running out of territory to besiege. And that will do something good at least. Actually put some minimally competent commanders in there. I think most of my commanders are currently in the middle of a battle in North Africa. We've won the Battle of Tiaret for 0.7% war score. Apparently. And to be fair, a decent amount of prestige. So now we can go back to besieging there. So let's stick a siege leader in there. Head back over here. And that Elodian, so where's that lot going, eh? Actually, that's a foreign army. What are they doing there? Go and get them. You lot. There. That battle didn't get listed at all, did it? Or is this? Oh, oh well. I don't really mind, given what it was worth. I should temporarily take my marshal off whatever the hell he's doing, and then we can assign him to some useful jobs. Actually, let's bring him with us into this battle and leave Meinhardt there. Oh, Kaiser. Leupold has usurped the city of various cities and the county of Venezia from Venice. What?
You just got what?
The Italia has just claimed Venezia. So while the Kingdom of Venice still exists, it no longer controls the city of Venice, or rather the city of Venezia.
So does that mean Italia's now got both Genoa and Venice, and so is trading king of the world?
No, because, I mean, yes, it has, but it still doesn't control Amalfi.
Right. That's still Byzantine.
That's still Byzantine.
Well, I'll see if you can get something. I mean, they're the wrong sort of Christian. That's terrible.
So yes, Amalfi is still owned by the Byzantine Empire. Right, anyway, back to this battle. King Kaiser Hupold of Italia has created the title Duchy of Venice. Thank you. Oh! Kaiser Hupold of Italia has set up Pope Jacob as an anti-pope named Pope Alexander II. Pope Urbanus, of course, being controlled by the Holy Roman Empire. Now we have the Pope in Ravenna.
Oh, it's a nice place to live.
Norbert de Luxembourg has arrived at my court. That's nice. What are you doing here? So, right, so the Kingdom of Venice is still a most serene republic. Just happens that its capital is now in Ston, which is next door to Split. Meanwhile, the Holy Roman Empire has set up a competing Republic of Venice. So we now have the Republic of Venice and the Most Serene Republic of Venice, which are two independent claimant realms, both calling themselves Venice. Which I'm sure will not cause any confusion. It's not the Pinkby says, but the HRE one actually holds Venice, right? It's not the HRE, it's Italia that holds. Yes, that holds Venezia, the Duchy and County of Venice, the County of Venezia, the Duchy of Venice. Yes, the independent one, meanwhile, controls most of the Venetian trade zones, or controls the Venetian trade zones. The new Venice does not yet have any trade zone, I think. So yes, the old one is the Serene one, is kind of a government in exile, but is in exile to the extent that it still controls all of the trade. The new one is not Serene and just controls Venice itself, for now. Right, so this army has now finished besieging back our stuff over here. Well, I think it can wait until that lot are locked in their move to Askadal and then go and kill them, but I think probably that army is now surplus to requirements and I might disband it to save the pissing off vassalsness. So we're about to win this battle. Oh, right, that's not war score, that's military technology points. That's war score. Right. So, Queen Adalberta gets 5.3 piety, 10 prestige out of this, and 8.7% war score, allegedly. Yes, there we are. That's currently occupied by Duke Velf, and we don't seem to be able to besiege it. That lot are happily besieging that which is currently controlled by Nabatia. By Alodia. I suppose strictly this army could maybe head in there and besiege some of the allies. Wait for that lot to get movement locked and then we'll start tidying things up. Actually, no, let's... send them that way instead. Well, let's just stomp over and besiege some Hashemids. No, not like that. The Pope has started imprisoning people. He's imprisoned the Duke of Salerno for some reason. So we can't ransom this guy. We can't demand that he convert. We can randomly execute him. Apparently no one cares about him. I mean, maybe it's honourable. He's not a co-religionist, though, so I'm not sure about that. He gets executed. He has no use whatever. Right, next. Right, there's still more to besiege in that county. Right, curiously, we won the Battle of Askadal for very little benefit. There's another army there. We could get into a fight with them, but no, we're busy besieging things. Let's keep besieging things. Up to 98% war score. This army is never going to get anywhere useful. We just had a random battle that I wasn't expecting. The Carmatian heresy has appeared. Accursed heathens. I don't even understand this heresy. Carmatian. It's a Shia heresy, I think.
Right, okay. What? I think that's definitely a bot.
I may as well actually withdraw some of these troops because, like, once we finish this siege, we're almost certainly going to hit 100% war score. There we are. Right, so the only question is there anything I can occupy? But everything that might be relevant is already occupied by Duke Velf. So I think actually, even though we're going to win this war, we won't gain anything from it. I mean, other than 15 tons of piety. I think. Oh, maybe we did. Right, now we've got all these troops all the way down here. Back you come. Dietrich is a... No, he's not. Estacel. Yes, essentially that gets me back the piety that the Pope took for my my not wanting to get random revolts turning up. So I can now usurp the Duchy of Nobatia, and thus I should probably find someone to put in it. How's my daughter doing? She's still Basque, good. She has 14 backstabbing. We're still trying to get her diplomacy up to something worthwhile. So my court chaplain is, well, he's there trying to convert, but which should happen with like 40% chance each year. But he's been trying to convert the previous county for a decade or more, and has as yet failed, so he is apparently supremely unlucky. We're only slightly over domain limit at the moment. So we can't declare any more wars until we've got these armies home. What titles do we spuriously have? No, not that one. Right, we gained the county of Nobatia, I think. De jure parent is the Duchy of Nobatia, right, yes. Which is currently, like, carved up in weird ways. But we could usurp it and then grant it to someone. So, I suppose one question now is who do we declare war on next? Another question is who do we give the Duchy of Nobatia to? It will cost us 100 gold to usurp it, but that seems reasonable. So we're now down to 3 Dispoletos who want to join my court. One, his heir would be also heir to the Duchy of Rugen, which seems dangerous. Well, oh no, might be the heir to the Duchy of Rugen because the Duchy of Rugen is elective. He's probably not very dangerous. Martin, whose heirs are like his cousins or something, and whose wife is inconveniently 44, and Helferich, whose heir is already a duke. So I think Manfredo is the most plausible of those. So, yeah, let's invite Duke Manfredo over. And grant him this duchy. And then see what he does with it. The peasants have revolted in Tarza. Okay. Where are these revolting peasants then? Oh, there they are. Well, conveniently, I happen to have an army on their doorstep. Let's just stick some useful people in charge of that army. I mean, Tarza is mountainous, and Tarza, yes, is mountainous, but like, I'm Queen Adalberta, I'm excellent at combat in mountains, and we do just about outnumber them 2-1. Are there any more troops around here I can quickly raise? Yeah, that'll make things better. Okay, let's actually hold off marching in there for a moment. And just bring some more troops to bear. Right. Now we'll splot them. Oh! Kaiser Adamar the Just of the Holy Roman Empire has died, and I get told about it because the defensive pact opposing him has been disbanded. So, Kaiserin Adelheid the Wise has taken over the Holy Roman Empire. 47 years old. Currently, because no one's voted yet, her successor is Princess Agata of the Holy Roman Empire, who looks quite dull and will almost certainly not manage to stay next in line. But yes, Kaiserin Adelheid looks like a fairly scary person. That means the revolt has ended, because the revolt was trying to get the previous Kaiser off the throne, and they did that by virtue of him dying. Yes, the one who was leading the revolt is this Adelheid the Wise, Queen Adelheid the Wise of Franconia. So, yes, what am I doing? I'm assembling an army over here. I'm waiting for someone to turn up to become Duke of Nobatia. I'm waiting for that enormous army to come home. Right, Manfredo Magnusson. Would you like... Oh, no, we need to usurp the title first, don't we? Yoink. Right. Manfredo Magnusson. Please, would you become Duke of Nobatia? Duke Manfredo of Nobatia. Right. Sorry, just catching up with ILC very quickly. Yes. So, how are we doing at organising this army? They're still trying to all get into the same county. Meanwhile, yes, Manfredo Magnusson has turned up. Duke Velf is slowly releasing people. We're just going to deal with this revolt, and then we will see who we should invade next. Yes, they'll get a defensive bonus. We've got Adalberta at the head of the army. Let's switch to Dietrich in place. Oh, right, sorry. Yes. Adalberta, Nikita and Dietrich should be able to do this. Oh, stop it. You lot carry on all the way up to Fafara. Right, I think that army is now surplus to requirements. This army over here is still organising itself. I'm wondering if it might be quicker just to raise a replacement one up here. Because it's quite close to my domain, actually. Let's use my personal levies for this rather than whatever the hell that lot is. And then once that lot have got to wherever they're going, Nubia, will dismiss them. I think they contain at least some of my personal things, so I'll dismiss them first. And then raise from up here. I mean, that really ought to be enough, but we should probably raise slightly more than that. Duke Velf is busy emptying his dungeons. Our dungeons are empty. We executed the only person we had in them. Right, that should be enough. Some get released, some get exiled. Right, the county of Souf has been converted. That's nice. Not the one I'm trying to convert, but still. We are slowly Catholicising the north of Africa, apart from these damned heretics. Right, so we have now finished disposing of our various revolts. So, who's next? We do have slightly more people in the defensive pact. I think actually possibly the only addition is the Fedayeen, who are a rather tiny Holy Order, occupying like one castle. So I don't actually think that's going to be any significant problem. So the Hashemids have Blemia, which is quite big. Ziadids are not a member of a defensive pact. Well, that's the Ziadid revolt. Where is that the capital of the Ziadid? Yes. So they're in the middle of a war already, which makes this seem like quite a good time to grab Axum and try to turn it into a new trading territory on the Red Sea. Wondering if we go for the Hashemids as well, since they're next door. But obviously we start the war with Axum. Well, it doesn't really matter actually. The Hashemids will pull in the rest of their defensive pact, but like that's not any scarier than it was last time. Possibly I need to let my vassals cool down a bit. Let's go for a small... Let's do these separately. Let's do a small war for Axum, and then a bigger war for Blemia. And we'll try to let our vassals hate us a bit less, because that will probably save too much trouble. What have you been up to, Duke Gregarios? Oh, you're just trying to fabricate a claim on the county of Farfara, Farafra. Not one of ours, is it? If it is, I might arrest you. Go ahead then. Not enough ships. Still not enough ships. Just think it'll be slightly faster. I suppose we can only actually go. Well, now let's go ashore on. Let's make this a naval assault. It'll be more amusing. I am working on them. Oh, sod it. We can defeat rebellions. I'll take the high piety. Not enough ships. I need 2 more ships, fleets, whatever. Three more. But I don't have any coast around here. Let's disband those to avoid pissing off the locals.
Some clanging noises that come up in the morning.
Yes. We don't want a siege leader while we're waiting for them to find some armies. That army is slightly unhappy having been on ship for a while. That fleet is still trying to get to its rendezvous. We're still short of money. Indeed, we're burning money at a rather scary rate at the moment because running that levy is quite expensive. This will not take very long, I don't think. Whether that other other fleet will be able to get anywhere in time, I don't know. If I unpause, they might go somewhere. So, oh dear. Oh, we've still got a decent number of people. Oh, a revolt has broken out in Colzum. Well, it's not very surprising. Angered by my oppressive rule, the peasants have taken to arms. Right, well, we'll have an army there fairly soon. Borrow some neighbours as well. Meanwhile, yes, the next few places here are not going to take much besieging. Here comes the fleet with some of the troops I will need to defeat this revolt. That's probably enough. No, I wasn't where I wanted you to go, really. Happily, the rebels have no sense of organisation at all, so they won't go, oh, tiny army will go and squish that. Kaiser Hupold of Italia is imprisoning people. 26%. Ah, my daughter Gerhild was bitten by a snake this morning. Brave little fool keeps seeking out danger. Yep, martial, brave, excellent set of things to have. Right, Gerhild at the age of 14 is still Basque and has a martial skill of 15 now. We can hope that we turn her into a brilliant strategist. It might not happen though. Alright, that fleet has arrived. Let us assemble that army. Look, stop it. Oh, the Banu Farat Sultanate, who are pretty scary, have just joined in the war. Right, well, we better try to win this one quickly then. Do I immediately assault this? Go on, let's see how badly it goes. That was quick. Right, good. Yes, I am trying to... Hooray! Colzum is no longer monophysite. Still got a rebel army sitting around in it though. So let me just head up this army with some decent commanders. We'll go and crush the rebellion. Oh, we're getting internal alliances forming. Meanwhile, Queen Adalberta is winning another battle. Kind of inclined to dispose of those liege levies unless they're particularly relaxed types. Osmond and Athelwine. Actually, they haven't been involved in the previous war, so they're probably not too bad. So actually march this lot down into somewhere where there's enough fleets to pick them up. Corflad of Mercia is our Duchess of Paraetonium, and is apparently now known as the Unfaithful. She's not a fan of the fact. Maybe I should not educate my heir apparent is in the wrong culture. That would probably make people less pissed off with me. Like, I mean, I'm doing that partly as a fallback in case Gerhild doesn't manage to end up inheriting. Godzer intended has a silly beard. Oh well, he's still good in many other respects. Bizarrely come out as a scholarly theologian. He hasn't turned out zealous, has he? Good. So we can probably work out how to get him to convert with a bit of effort. Lot are still marching south. We have 59% war score. We should just confirm we can't get a surrender. No. So our court chaplain is of course doing nothing. Let us... We have another monophysite county, yes. I think the Pope seems to object to that quite strenuously. Let's send him over there. bring those troops down here as well, just in case we need them. Should we assault this? We've got quite a lot of troops. I think not, so we're going to win it pretty quickly anyway. Oh dear. Prominent subject has petitioned me for justice. He had supposedly been beaten by Marshal Nikita while he was their guest, and the father is requesting compensation. So I have the options of Marshal Nikita will be fined for his crime, which gives me a 25% chance of becoming arbitrary. I thought I already was arbitrary. I am. And also annoy Marshal Nikita. Marshal Nikita will be imprisoned. 25% chance of gaining just. I don't believe this. The daughter must be lying, which will definitely gain me arbitrary. Well, let's hope for just. We got it. I now have the slight problem that my marshal's in prison. And we can't, even though he has 140, we could banish him and take all his money. Kind of tempting. Can I find myself a better marshal than that? Can find myself as good a marshal who's also a siege leader. Though Nikita's an organiser, so like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Kind of tempted actually to banish Nikita, take all his money, and invite Gregorio in his place. There we go, now we can afford to run this war for a bit longer. Welcome, Gregorio Polkarios. You are now my marshal. Go out and help with this siege. A lot of kids. I didn't let him go. I took 143 gold off him and banished him out to the wastes of wherever the hell he came from, Russia somewhere. My liege, I've tried to make Duke CK the drunkard realise what a benevolent and peaceful ruler you really are, but sinister forces at his court have been hard at work to discredit my every move and distort my every word. I'm afraid that in the end the visit seems to have done more harm than good. Well, you better stay there and fix it then. Right, let's just check. No one else is occupying anything near here, are they? No. So there's no danger that we will fail to get things that we should get. He's willing to give us surrender, which is great because his allies haven't turned up yet. I won't steal his money yet. I'll wait until I've been paying him for a decade first. You know, he's only got 98. Actually, he's got 98 gold. He might well be worth banishing. Oops, that should be dismissed. Come on, surrender, surrender, surrender. Thank you. To the foul boar Adalberta. May Allah destroy your house. I accept your offer of peace. The army of Queen Adalberta will stand down and all levies will return home. Yes. Right, so I have too many titles again. My domain is up to 22. Oops. She has become Baroness of Yeha, among many other places. Oh, there may be a problem that she can't usurp the Duchy of Axum. Yeah. Ah, but she can create the Duchy of Axum. Excellent. And conveniently, she has already grabbed all of the necessary money to do so. De jure, it's part of the Kingdom of Abyssinia, but I'm sure Abyssinia doesn't want it. Right, Queen Adalberta now has a prestige in excess of 10,000. Right, now we need to find a suitable Duke of Axum, or rather Grand Mayor of Axum, or something like that, Doge of Axum. So, first let's just have a look around. So we have Norbert de Luxembourg, who has a stewardship of 14, which might be useful. And that's as good as it gets there. Who's our steward? Is our steward landed already? Yes. He's the Duke of Gerard, yes. So let's see who we could invite if we wanted to do better than that. Anyone conveniently content? That's often nice to have around. No. Can't think we might just take Gautier. Have a French Republic on the edges of Africa. Yeah, I think he's as good as it gets. Yeah, everyone's joining a defensive pact now. Come on, Gautier. Welcome, Aubrey de Sully, Gautier de Sully. His wife is dead, has been for a long time. So, in order to make sure he turns out as the right kind of person, we need... Well, we should first probably see if we can convert him. Yes. Duke Friedrich... Oh, Hakam has grown up and has just won a war. He's also part of the Muslim Defensive Pact against Egypt, but since he's all the way over here, I think once we no longer have a truce with him, we can doubtless stomp some more of his territory. Oh, is that part of his now? Maybe it always was. Like Tebassa we can squish later. Right, so in order to correctly make our new guy alright, he's currently considering, yes, our conversion request. In order to make our new guy become a mayor, we need to make sure we grant him a city first. Right, so now he is a Catholic unlanded person. Oops, pause. Then we can grant him one of the cities. We should probably gratuitously grant him a coastal city. Should he have Massawa or Cheren? Cheren needs more fortifications, but like it'll get them pretty soon. Let's build them for him and grant him Cherem, I think. Yep, well, once I've tidied this guy up so that I'm back under my domain limit, I will probably be stopping for the night. So, city of... I presume the city of Cherem is available. There it is. If you do that, he then becomes a Republican. So then we can grant him the entire Duchy of Axum. And he becomes Grand Mayor Gautier of Axum. And a bunch of other great houses come into existence in order to be properly Republican. Patrician Émery d'Éolienne. Patrician André of Saint-Gilles. They all turn out to be French, curiously. Patrician Adrien of de Voilà. And Patrician Julien of d'Artois. Oh, yes. So now he is the Grand Mayor Gautier of Axum. Axum is the is like the Republic of Axum. And Gautier gets to try to organise it. Adalberta is back under her domain limit. Has no raised armies. Is thus has a positive monthly balance again. It's going to take him a little while to build that up into anything useful. He does seem to have 572 gold though, which should be a good start. He's brought his son with him, who is currently his heir, at least in respect of the House of Sully, presumably, or something like that. Somewhere down here. House de Sully. Oh no, sorry, Patrician Julien would currently inherit it, which is kind of confusing. Who currently runs the House d'Artois. Anyway, so we have a new merchant republic down there, which I hope will be profitable for Queen Adalberta. She is now back under her domain limit. She is still under her vassal limit, barely. And I think next time she'll be pushing the Hashemids out of Blemia. Because, well, that would get us a fairly large amount of territory, and we'd be getting close to the point where the like then we're in the situation where we just have a bunch of really tiny places that need squishing. Alright, the Zeodids are still... Oh, that's the Zeodid Revolt. Okay, right, yes. So we could take them on as well. And of course Alodia is still there, but I don't know that we can actually declare a holy war on Alodia at the moment. No, because we don't border them. And we don't border any of their de jure duchies. Mercuria, on the other hand... Yeah, they could be stomped. Anyway, but that will all be later. For now, Egypt extends a little further south in its eastern half, and we have founded a merchant republic on the Red Sea with connections through to the Indian Ocean, which I hope will be helpful, though our merchant republic on the Baltic never did brilliantly. Like, it's kind of got a fairly stable trade zone. It hasn't really spread much, so don't know if it'll work. Anyway, that is all for next time. For now, good night.